everyone, it's Kino here. We're gonna go over twisting today, and you're gonna get all twisted deep in the inner body. I want you to think about initiating the twists down into the heart of the pelvis. So many times when we enter twisting postures, we do it just like we would look back from the car or something like that. So we sort of twist our upper body and move the neck. But the real benefit of twisting happens when you get down into the pelvis. You get into your organs and you twist them around and you purify yourself from the inside out. You get attuned to what you feel like deep down inside of the torso. This is one of the most important benefits of twisting, so that you can feel the inner body. You can feel that emptiness deep within the center of the pelvis. Here's how we're going to start off, nice and simple. From a cross-legged position, suck in the low belly so you create the emptiness deep within. Then, as you inhale, move yourself laterally. So I want you to move your torso over to the side. So suck in the belly and just move yourself over to the side. Fold the ribs into the center line, take your right hand out, and then inhale, create length without popping the ribs out of the center line so you keep it in. Now we're moved laterally, so just keep leaning over, leaning over, leaning over. Don't lift up, but now fold your rib cage into the center line to move over. And this is the space of how we're going to initiate all of the twisting postures from today. So you fold into the emptiness deep within the pelvis, and then inhale, lift your arm back up, exhale, bring yourself all the way back to the center line. We're going to go to the other side. Scoop around from deep within, the left hand goes over. Notice the tendency of the right hip to pop off the ground. The foundation of your twist is going to happen by rooting down into your pelvis. Scoop all the way around and keep leaning over. Then inhale, lift your right arm, pulling the ribs in, and then exhale, fold it over to initiate the spinal twist. Hold it there just for a moment, and then inhale, lift your right arm, take it all the way down, come all the way back up, all the way to the center. The lateral stretch is the key to moving your torso over to the side. That's what will bring you deeper into the twists and deeper into the benefit of cleansing from all the way in. In order to really get the access into the inner body, you need to be a little bit warm. So step over to the side and come all the way to the front of your mat. We're going to go through at least one sun salutation A and maybe one sun salutation B, just to generate a little bit of warmth inside of the body. Inhale, raise your arms above your head, and then exhale, fold into the inner body. Inhale, lift the center of the chest up and forward, and then exhale, step back, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. And then exhale, downward facing. You can't move the body when it's totally cold, so use this just as a moment. Nice, easy roll through the sun salutation A to create space and emptiness in the pelvis and heat through the inner body. Shoulders roll open, elbows are straight. Nice long inhalation, nice long exhalation, settling in through the hip joints. Switch your gaze forward and then inhale. Nice and easy, step it forward. And exhale, fold into the emptiness inside of your pelvis. Inhale through the center line, rise up, and then exhale, back to standing. Bend your knees. Inhale, raise your arms above the head. Exhale, with the knees bent, fold forward, go down. Inhale, chest up and forward. Exhale, step back, chaturanga dandasana, lower down. Inhale, roll forward to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Turn the left foot out and step the right foot forward, bending through the hip joints. Create the space within. And then exhale, hands to the floor, step back, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, lift the center of the chest. Exhale, roll back. Left side of warrior one, step it forward, press your heels down, flow through the center line. And then exhale, step back, strong shoulders, go down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Pause here for a moment. Hands shoulder width apart. Settle into your downward facing. Nice long inhalation. Nice long exhalation. Switch your gaze forward and then inhale. Easy, step it forward. Lift the center of the chest and then exhale. Fold into the emptiness in your pelvis. Bend your knees. Hands in prayer. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, back to standing. I hope you're feeling a little bit warm now. We're going to use that warmth and move it straight into the inner body. Exhale as you step your left knee back, coming down into a semi-lunge. Curl your left toes under. We're going to fold into the emptiness of the inner body. This is a very important sensation of moving through the hollowness within. So you're going to round your back just a little bit, inwardly rotate your right hip joint, and then move into the emptiness. You're going to fold laterally over to the side. So fold the ribs in just like we did from seated, moving into Parsvakonasana B, or the extended side angle twisted version of the posture. So we're sucking in, fold into the emptiness inside your right hip joint, and then fold your torso all the way around. So you see that the whole torso moves over to the side. This happens before you twist. Move your left shoulder into internal rotation and you're folding deep down and around. Then inhale, lift your right arm up. If you're challenged at all or if your left hand is not on the ground, stay here working on the posture. And then extend your arm over your head, gazing at your fingers. Only if you're comfortable, send your right knee forward, picking your body off the ground and folding all the way around. We're going to hold that here for a few breaths, feeling the emptiness deep within your pelvis, sucking it in. Spiral through the spinal axis, only if you have the balance, and then take your right hand down, left knee down. Slowly fold your spine all the way up, and then step your left leg back. We're going to do it again, a little bit deeper this time. Send your right knee forward. If the last posture was challenging for you, if it was hard for you to get your left hand on the ground, keep that left knee down, but see if you can enter this from the foundation of Warrior One. So you have this as the foundation, and then you spin around your right hip joint, fold your whole torso all the way around to the side. Then inhale, lift your right hand, and then extend it over. Once you've extended all the way over, see if you can twist your spine around the center line without losing the grounding through your hips and without losing the emptiness inside of your pelvis. Then drop your right hand down, keep the shape in your legs of Warrior One, pick your torso up, straighten your legs, return to the front of your mat. Pause for a moment here. That should have got a little fire burning inside of the body. Should feel almost like you feel the restriction of the inner body, you feel the restriction of your abdomen, and then you work with it by activating the bandhas and activating your breath. Now it's time to do the left side. Send your right knee back. Come down for a moment. Create the emptiness in the inner body. Fold through the internal rotation of the left hip joint. Then fold all the way around. Then take a moment and roll through your shoulder, rolling all the way around. So the right shoulder rolls into an internal rotation. You can press on your pelvis a little bit to get you down into that left hip flexion. Then fold, fold, fold. If your right hand is not on the ground, grab hold of your forearm and press it down, but avoid pushing with your shoulder too much, otherwise you don't create space. Inhale, left arm up, and then exhale all the way over. Hold it there for a few moments. Hold it and hold it and hold it. Spiral through the emptiness deep within. Then extend your back leg by pivoting through your left hip joint. We'll hold that for a few more moments. Pull the ribs into the center line. Use your mind to balance. Use Mula Bandha to balance. Then take your hand down, your right knee down. Pick yourself gently up and stand your back leg up. Legs straight for a moment. Then send your left knee forward, right heel back and down. Suck the belly in. Fold into the emptiness. Reach all the way down, spiraling your right shoulder forward, and then inhale all the way around. If you have a hard time and you somehow end up lifting your arm like this, a great tool is to look at your armpit, bring the armpit towards your face, and then extend the arm. If you're able to maintain the balance, then pull the ribs in towards the center line and twist along the spinal axis while sending that left knee forward. Drop the left hand down, pick yourself gently all the way up, and then exhale, return to the front of your mat. Pause for a moment and feel the emptiness inside of the pelvis. Inhale, raise the arms above the head, and then exhale, pivot through the hip joints, fold forward and down. Inhale, send the center of the chest up and forward. Exhale, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana, lower down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Then nice and easy, just glide forward, sit down. We're gonna look at marichyasana C. It's an important posture for twisting. We start off in dandasana position. Belly is sucked in, creating the space deep within. Bend your right knee, suck all the way in. Pause for a moment, drop the right hip down. We're gonna see if we can replicate the same fold around your thigh that we had in the standing posture. So move your right hip into internal rotation and then fold around. Bring your torso all the way around. So fold your torso all the way around. Don't try to twist up, but fold around. Now reach your hand away from your knee and we're gonna hold this for 5 breaths. 1, steady breathing. 2, 3, 4. Now with the power of Mula Bandha, with the power of your pelvic floor, fold your torso towards your thigh, connect the shoulder to the knee, and then if your elbow is past the plane of the shin, fold your elbow around and roll through an internal rotation. Grab hold of your shoulder and pull it down. Keep the shoulder down. That's what's going to keep you locked in the posture. Then bring your right knee back to over the ankle. Then inhale, lift the center of the chest up, but keep that left shoulder down, reach around. Hold on to your wrist if you can, or you can just hold on to your fingers, whichever bind is more comfortable for you. Hold it there for a moment and gaze over your right shoulder. If you're near, you can hold on to your thigh, but it's not necessary. Hold that there for a few moments and press your hips down to keep the foundation of the twist. Then gently release. Keep leaning over to the side. Keep yourself folded in the posture. And then with the power of Mula Bandha, pick yourself all the way up. Return to the center line. Stretch your legs out for a moment. Find your pelvic floor. Cross your feet. To release through your back, step back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Step it nice and easy forward. We'll switch the sides, starting off in Dandasana position. Then belly is sucked in, left knee bends into the inner body. Fold it back and down. Feel the space deep within. Cross the center line with your left knee. Suck back and around. Think about moving your torso over to the side. Don't go so much up, but fold your torso over to the side and then reach. We'll hold this for 5. 1, 2, 3, steady breathing. 4. Start to really ground your right hip so that you can feel that right hip pressed into the ground. Steady, steady breathing. Fold all the way around. Take a moment and make sure that your left elbow passed the plane of the shin. If it didn't, you can stay there and work. Then grab hold of your shoulder and reach it down. We'll stay here for a few moments and it's getting that shoulder down, keeping it in the internal rotation. Protect your collarbone so you don't want to pull it in, but just down. So you keep the space through the collarbone while internally rotating your shoulder. Inhale, lift the center of the chest. Exhale, reach around, holding your wrist or your fingers, gazing over your shoulder, nice and steady. Pivot along the spinal axis. Ground through both of your hips. Make sure that standing leg is grounded as well, and the heel of your standing leg or that extended leg is still pressed into the ground. The belly is sucked in and you're folding your torso around your thighs. If you want, you can grab hold of your thigh, but again, it's not necessary. Inhale, create the space, lean a little to the side. Fold your torso all the way back into the center. Cross your feet, and then easy step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Next, step forward. We're going to take a squatting position. So we're in a nice, easy squat down. The squatting position is not so nice and easy for you. This is also an indication that perhaps the inner body isn't lifted enough. Oftentimes, if we lift the hips, you can find that sense of a nice, deep squat. Take your hands forward. If it's completely impossible, you can roll up your mat and rest your heels on your mat. While we try this one, if you want to squat down like that, it's possible, but not necessary if you have a nice deep squat. Or if you're comfortable simply balancing with your heels off of the ground, you can also try this posture we're going to do in this manner as well. First, we're going to move into Paschasana position, which is the first posture of the Ashtanga Yoga Intermediate Series. Not an easy posture. We're going to do this in 2 ways to really illustrate the 2 components of twisting. First, we're going to move into the spinal twist and the twist through the shoulder girdle. You're going to fold through in between, so your torso goes in between. This is the easier version. We're going to twist to the right first, although traditionally in the Ashtanga method we twist to the left first. We're just going to keep the symmetry of the body we've been working with up until now. So fold your torso in between.
Roll your left shoulder forward and down, just like you did in marichyasana C, and then reach around, take hold of your fingers of your wrist, and straighten your arm as much as you can. This is the twist through the spinal axis. You keep your body aligned with the pubic bone, and you really start to just work the twist in the shoulder girdle, and then let that gently fold. Now, we're going to combine that with a move over to the side so it increases that whole activation in the inner body. You notice you can almost stick your belly out in that version because we're concentrating on the torso. Let's do the deep purification work of twisting and fold your torso over to the side. So here we go. Knees to one side, torso to the other. Fold over to the side, and we're going to hold that for a couple breaths. Keep the belly in, and then fold down into your right hip joint, down into the right hip joint. Suck the belly in and fold down, deep down within. And then only if your elbow moves past the plane of the shins, wrap it around, come forward into the base of your big toes. Inhale, lift your right hand off the ground, and then exhale. First, hold on to your fingers. Only then you might be able to walk all the way up and go through that same shoulder rotation. But the essence of the posture really happens down in the interior space of the pelvis. Gently release your fingers. Come back to that squatting position. Rest for a moment. You can release your heels. And then we're going to do the other side. Fold into the inner body. Fold into that inner emptiness. Then notice how you can kind of almost sag the belly, but try to keep the belly up. I know that your ankles might be getting a little stressed right now. Just let that happen. They're getting stronger. No real risk of injury, just a little bit of tightness. Roll the shoulder forward, and then hold on to your wrist and try to straighten that arm as you look back and pull back with your right hand. Squeeze your knees towards each other, localizing this deep in the shoulder girdle, and then gently release. Now, we're going to fold over to the side. All right, so start to lean over, almost like you're collapsing over to the side, but then you catch it with your hand to start off with, and then knees to one side, torso to the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then fold into the space behind your left hip joint. Make sure that your elbow passes the plane of the knees, passes the plane of the shins. If your elbow's stuck back here, don't try to bind, just keep folding down. Only if your elbow passes the plane of the shins, then fold your arm around, sinking up rather than sinking down, but you still get that deep empty sensation inside of the pelvis. Pick your hips a little bit up, wrap your elbows around, hold on to your fingers. After you hold the fingers, you might catch hold of the wrist, but it's not that important. Fold around as you release the torso, spiraling along the inner body. Keep the torso folded over to the left. The pelvic floor is nice and sucked in. Gently release. Come all the way back up. Oh, it's going to feel so good to release your ankles. Step back. Exhale. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Pause for a moment. Keeping the belly in. Nice long inhalation. Nice long exhalation. Then easy. Step it forward. Sliding yourself through. The essence and the dynamic of twisting has to come from the inner body. This is the takeaway that I want you to feel, that you don't just lift up and away, but you spiral into your center. So you get that twisting action deep within the inner body. So you fold your organs over to the side, and I want you to feel from the center of your pelvis everything that's happening, all right? I know we worked real deeply, so we're also going to give ourselves a little bit of a rest. Roll through the spine, and then exhale gently down, close your eyes. Find the breath, find your connection into the breath, find your connection into the inner body. Allow the journey of yoga to be a lifelong practice so that it doesn't matter how deeply you go into one posture one day, but that you slowly build up towards your highest inner potential with each practice. Gently move the fingers and toes, hands and the feet, the knees and the elbows. Gently bring the knees into the chest. Hug it in for a moment. Little rock from side to side.
And all the way over to the side. Roll all the way back up to seated. What I want you to do is to embark upon that quest into the inner body as you begin to twist more and hollow out more emptiness inside of your pelvis. See if you can feel every sensation. See if you can feel the effects of how you treat your body in the asana itself. Use the asana as a mirror with which to gaze upon the inner body. Let yourself go on that journey every day, and you will experience a more peaceful life each time you practice. Namaste.